This is the Truth Radio Network. The Truth Radio Network. Your home for compelling Christian news talk with an edge.
Just wood we throw slicing, scream bloody murder, red moon rising, attack of the killer bees, swarm devastating, fear running wild from the songs that I'm making, no feedback from the cats that be hating, take their souls down to hell, half son of Satan, bringer of the true light, legend of the seeker, last true warrior, ancient soul keeper, one and only ultimate brain decapitator, kill in the moment, ask questions later, no remorse for the MCs that I'm saying, the fake rappers are the ones who are paying, millions come out here to see my recital. On the edge of your seat, words very vital. Dictator, tyrant, man of many titles. Bow down and worship, you one and only idol like
the assassinator, the flying Russian. Words flow flawlessly over percussion. No fake MCs allowed in this cipher. Only number one big scene by Mel Kiper. You can scream loud, but it don't mean you're hyper. Shots be on point like the DC sniper. You better wake up, smell coffee, clear your head. 5 more minutes and you might be dead. Many fake MCs, they claim silver tongue. Black mask enters and now they neck wrong. Invincible warrior, what I've become. Garbage out your mouth, smell just like cow dung. Unconscious rappers, they need to be hung. Ninja fist, bust a lip, now your mouth numb. Rulers of the world got us feeding on crumbs. Modern day slavery, bottom fish scum.
First thing we do, we plan a false flag attack. Sit back and watch how the blind sheep react. They scream for help, we say we got your back. Make up corrupt laws to Patriot Act. First thing we do, we plan a false flag attack. Sit back and watch how the blind sheep react. They scream for help, we say we got your back. Make up corrupt laws to Patriot Act.
It's the brown masked ninja, psychotic killer, underground dweller, fear instiller, mass media, soul cleansing devil, true law breaker, government rebel, mad mass maniacs breaking in your door when the president signs off for Rex 84. Turmoil to chaos, I don't want no more. Beast on the 7 hills, Babylon whore. Time we wake up, even up the score. Pick around the corners with guns ready for war. Sleepwalking people, the rich and the poor, too oblivious to realize what we fight for. You wanna run down and get baked at the shore. Men plot behind your back, evil at the core. Attack of Illuminati wild like a boar. Words sting like salt that's in the mouth sore. Yo, only speak real truth, there's no way to fake this. Living in a world similar to the Matrix. Chains on your mind, come on, you gotta break this. Way that you're thinking, it's time for awakeness. One way out, man, so we gotta take it. Fight to the end, cause we all gotta make it. The truth is the truth, some of y'all might hate it, or don't wanna hear it, be blind and debate it.
Hear no, see no, speak no evil. Live dangerously like evil Knievel. Deaf, dumb, and blind, making nothing but sheeple. Being led by your nose to the upheaval. Gears keep turning like pop knows a weasel. Media spread their lies just like the measles. All gassed up like an 18-wheel diesel. New world order plans written on an easel. First thing we do, we plan a false flag attack. Sit back and watch how the blind sheep react. They scream for help, we say we got your back. Make up corrupt laws to Patriot Act. First thing we do, we plan a false flag attack. Sit back and watch how the blind sheep react. They scream for help, we say we got your back. Make up corrupt laws to Patriot Act.
Hey, welcome in, everyone. This is the Truth Radio Network. I am Jay. Sitting in, as always, is my tag team partner, Joseph. And this is Two Grumpy Older Men, our year-end extravaganza spectacular. Hey, welcome in, Joe. Hey, in case you folks were wondering, that's a song from our buddy Ninja Scroll. He used to do a show here as well. So check out his work. But anyway, Joe, welcome in. Good to have you once again this week. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. Actually, awesome. Got a super call from my daughter this morning, and I'm on cloud 9. Just having a super day. Kind of overcast here in Kansas, but we're gonna just deal with what we're dealt with, and that's all we can do, and keep praying for others.
Yeah, amen, brother, amen. You know, we've had some really strange weather here too. I was so happy over the last couple of months because it's been very unseasonably mild here for all of November and all of December until now. Now, Monday we had an ice storm roll through, and it's just getting to the point where winter is rearing its ugly head. And the bad thing is, Joe, is I saw some snow the other day, and you know my feelings about snow. I hate snow almost as much as I hate decaffeinated coffee. But it's that time of the year.
Like artificial water.
Right. That's right. Canned water, dehydrated water. Stuff. It's great. I wish I could come up with that idea, though. Dehydrated water in a can.
Yeah. Well, why not? The Canadians are selling the Chinese fresh air from Canada.
That's awesome. See, you've got to be an entrepreneur. You've got to be an entrepreneur, but you got to be honest, Joe. You know, as Christians, you know, we've got to play by the rules, regardless of how much we might not want to at times. We do have to play by the rules because, you know, it's bad enough in this crazy mixed up world where people, for reasons, to point their fingers at Christians.
Absolutely. And, well, it's not going to get any better, folks. Jesus told us they hated me, they will hate you. So, you know, just don't worry. It gets better. I've read the end of the book.
Yeah, amen, brother. Rock steady. Stay rock steady.
Exactly.
So we figured we'd do a show today and just kind of chit-chat about the past year and everything that's gone on. You know, this is kind of a short year for us here at the network, you know, with me having to move and get settled in and everything. We missed a good chunk of 6 months, maybe even longer. And so we really didn't have a lot of shows, but that didn't mean that there wasn't a lot of stuff going on in the world, Joe. It's been a really crazy year. And you know what really, really gets me, and I almost feel bad about talking about it because it's just a circus, but it's this whole presidential nomination process. You know, it used to be a few months, and then it was a year, and now it's almost 2 years. I mean, this whole year, Joe, we've heard about Trump. This whole year.
Yeah, well, it used to be the quatesimal, whatever, once every 4 years, the running of the clowns, but now it's, you know, they started earlier, so it's, you know, I try not to pay attention to the clowns in front of the camera, just like the Joker in the White House today. You know, my opinion is they're bought and paid for, or they wouldn't be in the position they're in, and that's sad to say. We used to have gentlemen politicians that would go and serve one term, do what they could to make it a better place, and then go back to what they were doing. Now we've got these people that are in there for 20 years. I mean, my gosh, how are these people not seeing this? You know, they just...
Well, that's the thing, Joe. A lot of folks just absolutely refuse to look at it, refuse to think that these things are happening. And, you know, I'm like you. This is the running of the clowns, as you call it. I call it a three-ring circus, pretty much the same difference. But what gets me, and the reason why I talk about it, is because while everyone is focused on this running of the clowns, as you put it, there's a lot of important things going on in the world that aren't getting talked about. For instance,
exactly.
Did you see earlier today, and since this happened this year, we can talk about it, earlier today there was an article that came out where the current administration is chastising Russia for civilians being killed in airstrikes. And I saw it and I was like, oh, the hypocrisy.
Yeah. No, it's Hellfire missiles, the gift that keeps giving.
Hey, love bombs. Those are love bombs.
Yeah, love bombs. People don't realize the United States, when they send it in a cruise missile, we don't just kill the people that are at the party or at the wedding that just got bombed. It's the gift that keeps giving, because these things are loaded up with depleted uranium. So when your family members come to pick you up, whatever pieces are left, they're being exposed, and the whole terrible process begins again. And it just what a joke. I mean, we kill more, bystanders, in a cruise missile attack, or in a Hellfire missile attack, or drone attack, whatever you want to call it, than we actually do of the bad guys. And this is exactly one of the reasons why America is looked down upon. We're talking about thousands of innocent people. I mean, not just one or two here or there. We're talking about, 90% of our kills are innocent bystanding civilians. And it's just criminal to me. And, the next thing, the White House will be complaining about, Russia stepping into Chechnya, like, you can't step in on a individual nation, they're a sovereign nation. They have their own government there. Oh, we didn't do that. Iraq, Libya,
Afghanistan.
I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Perpetual war. My daughter's 28, and I think only 3 years of her life, that she's been alive, the U.S. has not been at war in the Middle East, and it's just mind-boggling. So.
Yeah, it absolutely is, Joe. I put a link into our chat room here on Blog Talk Radio. If you folks aren't here, you're missing out on a good time. You can come in and tell Joe how much our breath stinks like coffee. But I put a link in the chat room. The top news stories, this is according to The Guardian. But the number one top news story, according to them, have been the number of people killed by police this year in the United States. 1,125 people have been killed by police in the United States this year. And first of all, I am not one of these police haters. They have a job to do, and there are a lot of really, really good officers. But the problem with that is it only takes one or two bad apples, all of them a bad name, and that should be the end of it right there, But it's incumbent upon the good officers to kind of weed out the bad ones in their ranks, so folks can trust the police. But unfortunately, through the militarization of the police, we're now, as patriots, as citizens, we're looked upon as the enemy. And when we're looked upon as the enemy, you get 1,125 people killed by police just alone in this country. Now, the government doesn't keep those stats very well, and there are new efforts underway. But the Guardian did their own comprehensive study of it, and they found that 1,125 people were killed by police. Joe, it doesn't sound like the land of the free to me, brother.
No, and also, I mean, that's people, and we're not talking about the innocent pets that they dispatch when they get to site, whether there was any problem with the pet or not. And it's these no-neck steroid freaks that are power hungry. They were the punk in school that got picked on, and it's their payback time. and the rest of society has to pay for it. And it's more publicized today in the media because everybody's got a phone, and so they've got a camera right there, and they can record it. And with today's instant gratification society, 20 minutes later it's up on YouTube, and but yeah, we can pray that they will weed themselves out, but when one officer is charged with shooting a civilian, they quit their job and go to work for another department that is stressed out and that needs active fill the boots soldiers out doing patrols. So they hire them up, and they're they don't check out their previous claims against these officers for some reason, and they're just out there and they're doing it again. So let's hope that they get better at weeding out the bad and support the good. I have a lot of respect for police officers. I frown upon the militarization of them, and when I see one of these roid heads, I give it to him.
Right.
Hey, aren't you clenching a little bit there, officer? What, your buddy give you a little something you got to carry back home and stuff, or
Right. As with any profession, Joe, there are a good problem with bad police officers or those who think that they're above the law is that they think they're above the law. They think that they're immune.
Well, and that's it. And there's the blue rule. Officers support officers, and in the field you want your backup to be there. So it's kind of an unwritten rule.
Right, but Joe, I don't have a problem with officers watching each other's backs. But when you're lying or protecting a criminal act,
exactly,
because we all, and it's a dangerous job. Police officers, especially the last 2 years, have got a target on their back. So it makes sense to have a good partner, and to want to watch out for your partner. But when you stand idly by and you see things happening that are wrong, and you keep your mouth shut, you're just as guilty.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the problem that we have, Joe.
Exactly.
So I put the stat in the chat room real quick. Go ahead, bro. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say I brought up Syria and this administration's chastising of Russia about civilian deaths and airstrikes in Syria. According to this news story on The Guardian, Syria has seen 3,123 airstrikes since the United States-led campaign began in September of 2014. It's thought that between 783 and more than 2,300 civilians have died as a direct result of the missiles. And that's why I say those comments are very hypocritical.
Yes. And, I know that there are safeguards and stuff that the pilots go through, and they got to, get confirmation of target, and they want to keep the civilian count down, and it's really, there needs to be some kind of overwatch, and it's, once these people are gone, they're no longer there. Restitution of the family is not enough. Fix the problem, stop, more accurate missiles or something like that. But
You know, Joe, I've got a simple solution. I've got a simple solution. Just keep our nose out of everyone else's business. Simple as that. How
Amen.
much more simple can it be?
Amen. And it's but Eisenhower, said watch out for the police state and the industrial warmongering, and that's what we've become. Today, all wars are banker wars. We're not going there to fight for people's freedom. We're going there so that Exxon gets a pipeline through, or to help build up Halliburton,
or to guard poppy plants.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's just no. I'm appalled that they're using our troops in such fashion, because I'm a veteran. I spent time overseas. We're not bellhops, guards for these cartels, but the CIA is pulling in so much money for these black op projects through these loopholes, like moving heroin from Afghanistan to their other distributors, that America's become a joke. When I was in, when somebody saw the American flag on your shoulder, they were polite, and they actually have a conversation with you. Now it's they want to throw a ball or whatever brick they can get a hold of, and it's just we shouldn't be sticking our nose in other people's business. This is not why our military was coordinated, and this is, our founding fathers would not be very happy campers if they could see what has become of the nation that they put their blood, sweat, and tears into to make us free. You're not. You're a slave now. Period.
Absolutely. We're all slaves to the military-industrial complex.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. We are. Why are we in Syria? Well, it depends on who you ask. Depends on who you ask. Why are we in Iraq? It depends on who you ask. So, in 1989, when we first went to Iraq under Desert Shield, Desert Storm, I had no idea back then what it would lead to now, 24 years or so later, 26 years later. Anyway, it never dawned on me that was the beginning of the expansion of the American empire.
Yeah.
Back then, during Desert Shield, Desert Storm, most of us were glued to our televisions. We were watching everything unfold in front of us as far as the military operation goes. But and then at the time it struck a chord with a lot of people. Patriotism was at an all-time high. It just seemed like people were in a better way. But man, there's no way we could have seen this coming, Joe. And I say that because there's a lot of things that we see happening, and we can make an educated guess as to what's going to happen. Look at 9/11, 2001. Then and there, we kind of had an idea that the police state was going to come about because of that. And sure enough, look what we've gotten 14 years later.
Oh yeah, and Well, it's not going to get any easier, and it's not going to get any better until people wake up and they actually see what's going on. But with our press today, they're spouting off everything the government tells them to, because six families own 95% of all the major media. So all your news is not news. It's what they're programming you with. It's the tidbits that they want you to hear, and you hear nothing else.
Oh, absolutely. We all know that the media, well, I can't say all of us know. Most of us who can form a independent thought realize that the media is controlled. For whatever reasons, stories get manipulated to sway public opinion on certain things, and it's gone on. Throughout time for as long as I've been alive, Joe. But it's really been ramped up recently, and because of that, it's more important now than ever to do our own independent investigations.
Exactly.
To find out what's really going on.
Exactly. With today's, unless you go out and search for the real news, you're not going to see it on the mainstream media. You need to, do your due diligence and search out those independent news networks and stuff like that, and places like this. Get some real news. But yeah, no. In this year we've seen Obama push his gun control legislation, and he put out a tweet to his minions that he's going to squeeze this change thing for everything he can. So, with all the executive orders that have been signed and so forth, we're stepping into the red zone here.
I thought you were going to say we're stepping into the doggy do. We pretty much are, though. We are up
we're
to
standing it. It's ankle deep, and
oh no, it's knee high.
Going down the path.
It's knee high, brother. We got so much. Anyway. Yeah, it's getting bad. Things are getting really bad. And what really cracks me up though is that there's these partisan people. The ones who will pledge their blind loyalty to either political party. And what cracks me up is that all the things that you just mentioned about Obama, they'll talk about and blame everything on him, but they fail to realize that Obama would not be able to get away with this crap if the Republican before him didn't get away with that crap. And the Republican before him wouldn't have gotten away with that crap if the Democrat before him wouldn't have gotten away with the crap. So all of this bickering back and forth over my party is better, or let's just get this guy out to get one of our guys in. And that seems to be the mentality right now, especially with Trump. That's the wrong way to look at it. If you're going to be involved in politics, you got to do it the right way and not make it a popularity contest or something out of spite. It's like, oh, well, your candidate or your president screwed us, so wait till our guy gets in there. And that's what I hear a lot of, Joe. And that's people like that. That's the majority, a vast majority of Americans, how they view the political system. And it's because of the view that we're in such deep dog do as we are now.
Yeah, well, it's Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. It's two cheeks in the same butt. There is no difference, not anymore, and hasn't been for a long, long time. And it's divide and con. Make people think that you're standing for something good, and when the cameras are off, these people are all partying together. It's not a fight on the floor. It's a show for the media.
Yeah, it's a WWE, WWF match is what it is.
Exactly. And we can just just pray, that the blinders come off and people, start seeing what's going on. And the sad fact of the matter is you and I both know that, down the road 6 months from now, it's still going to be 2 to 3% of the population is actually prepping for something that's coming up at them, whether it's economic or natural disaster. All we can do is, keep it on, and
right.
It's not I don't want to say it's preaching to the choir, but it's we got to go over the basics. Become self-sufficient. Quit
Joe,
relying on everything else.
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought up prepping, even though this isn't our traditional prepping show. Something happened here a couple weeks ago while we were doing a prepping show, and I ain't gonna mention any names, okay? But I do have a problem with the prepper elite. Those folks who think that their way of doing things is the only smart, sensible way to prep. And if you're not doing it their way or the way they suggest, then you're simply doing it wrong. And I have a real problem with that because I run into a lot of these prepper elite, as I like to call them. And one thing that this one prepper elite in particular, his first name is Doctor. This prepper himself, he has amassed a large amount of money in order to, so he has the ability to spend a lot of resources on prepping, whereas you and I, we take a more sensible approach to it. Where we preach to do what you can, because even a little is better than nothing. But with the prepper elite, they frown on that. They're like, well, if you're not going to do it the right way, then why even bother doing it? All right, well, screw you.
Well, because something is better than nothing, and I'm sorry I don't have the 80,000 to throw out so that I can put a 12-foot chain link fence around my property and, build up my arms room or anything like that. I'm sorry, but I'm on disability. And what preps that I do, it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. And I would rather have the support and the backing of my community that knows that, I'm doing things not just for myself, but to make the end result more hospitable. And people like that, it's like, all right, yeah, go ahead. I'll see you in 90 days. Not, because you're not going to be around. And I'll still be here, and I'll have the support of my friends and my family and the people of this community. It's not about money, and it's not about your connections. It's about what you can do for your community. And there is no island, of the happy prepper community. No, not.
Right.
Wake up. Quit drinking the Kool-Aid. I have very little time for people like that. And
well, this one person in particular has written quite a few books and has a rather large reach as far as media goes. Like I said, is one of these prepper elites who believe that their way is the only way, and if we're preparing for something that he's not preparing for, then we're crazy conspiracy theorist lunatics.
Oh yeah, well, get in line. It's people like that give actual people out there who are trying to do something to make themselves more independent and not reliant on the central government or the government.
Exactly. And it's comments like that and that sense that why even bother if you're going to do it this way? That's discouraging to people, especially people with very limited resources, Joe.
Exactly.
It's discouraging.
And I'm on Social Security disability, and I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to throw at my preps. Hell, I'm driving a 25-year-old car, truck. She's my get out of Dodge ride. I know she'll drive over or through just about anything, and just keep up on your maintenance and invest in good tires.
Yep,
decent wipers.
exactly.
And it's the little things. It's not having, the Land Rover or this or that, or, the four-wheel drive with GPS. No, those are all trivial things. Get something that you can keep running, do minimal maintenance on so that it's reliable, and just plan for the unpredictable, and that's all prepping is we're told to stand, to be ready to support our people around us, and that means building up your community, and I got little time and very little patience with people that are the elite preppers.
Yeah, the folks I'm talking about, Joe. We run into them all the time.
And I've that's one of the reasons why I don't go to some of these pages and participate in their chats, because these people are just babbling BS. Some of the things they're talking about are going to get more people killed than lives saved. And if you're going to do that for ratings, I'm sorry, but just shut up, please. You're making the rest of us look bad.
Right.
And I'm trying to be very conservative, polite, and I haven't thrown out an F-bomb yet or not. So, these people give preppers and people who are, trying to start, and they're giving them a diluted vision of their future. Buy my book. It'll tell you how to do this. And, that 2875 you sent is going to put, 1,000 new air fresheners in my 8 cars.
Right. Hey, Joe, listen, man. We got 21 minutes to go on the show, and I want to take a break here simply because Karen and I we wanted to take a break yesterday. We got rolling. We didn't get a chance to, but I want to play a song before the end of the year. I have to play this. So why don't we play this tune, take about a 4-minute break, grab a cup of coffee, we'll come back and finish up for the last 15 minutes. How's that?
Sounds great.
All right, hey, this is mine and Joe's alternate theme song. Hope you folks enjoy it. We'll be back here in about 4.5 minutes on the Truth Radio Network. Hey, while you're listening to the song, visit our website, www.thetruthradionetwork.com. Be back in a few.
Way down among Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the billions, so they've got to find those extra cups to fill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. You can't get cherry soda, 'cause they've got to fill that quota, and the way things are, I'll bet they never will. They've got a zillion tons of coffee in Brazil. No tea or tomato juice, you'll see no potato juice. 'Cause the planters down in Santa's all say no, no, no. The politician's daughter was accused of drinking water and was fined a great big $50 bill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil. She smells just like a percolator. Her perfume was made right on the grill. Why, they could percolate the ocean in Brazil. And when their ham and eggs need savor, coffee ketchup gives them flavor. Coffee pickles way outsell the dill. Why, they put coffee in the coffee in Brazil. No tea, no tomato juice, you'll see, no potato juice. The planters down in Santa's all say no, no, no. So you let to the local color, serving coffee with a crawler. Dunkin' doesn't take a lot of skill. They've got an awful lot of coffee, an awful lot of coffee. Man, they got a gang of coffee in Brazil.
How much coffee is too much coffee? Legend holds that kaffa, or coffee, was discovered in western Ethiopia by a man who noticed that his goats were more active after eating coffee beans. Today, caffeine is the most widely used brain stimulant in the world. Caffeine works by blocking another chemical in your brain called adenosine from bonding to receptors on your neurons. Adenosine is an inhibitor that keeps many brain regions in check, including one called the reticular activating system, which basically amplifies brain activity. When adenosine is blocked, this region goes into overdrive, sending a wake-up call to the rest of your brain. So actually, coffee doesn't stimulate your brain, it just suppresses the part that makes you drowsy. Is caffeine addictive? Some scientists think so, but it's not as bad as other drugs because it doesn't strongly affect the dopamine pathways related to addiction. Your brain does learn to balance the caffeine though, which is why stopping cold can be a real headache. And while the equivalent of 100 cups of coffee can kill you, studies have found that in moderation it may help protect against Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. So perhaps our craving for coffee isn't all that bad.
Boy, I could listen to a coffee song or good news about coffee all show long, Joe.
Yeah. I thought you were going to play something else, but that's okay.
Oh, well, what did you think I was going to play? I can play something else.
No, that's okay. That'll work for but coffee is one of the things that I suggest every prepper put into their preps big time. The way I like to put it is in the morning I have my coffee and nobody's died yet. Without coffee, people go through withdrawals, so plan accordingly, please.
Right.
And
right.
I even carry coffee in my truck. Instant coffee. I'll sit down on the side of the road, take 5 minutes, and then, after that 5 minutes, I'll have hot coffee. Not going to worry about it. But coffee is, besides being a great stimulant, you can figure out what people are like, after sitting down and having a cup of coffee with them. Not that you're going to actually finish it, but you can figure out what they're about, through that time it takes you to do a cup of coffee. So.
Right. Yeah, coffee's a great icebreaker too. Say you meet a girl, standing at the bus stop, you're walking out of a store, you find her attractive or someone you might want to meet. What's a better icebreaker than, hey, my name is Jay. How about we go get a cup of coffee and talk? Or something like that. It's a great icebreaker. You meet one of your old school chums from 20 years ago, and you don't want to stand out in the middle of the sidewalk talking. So hey, let's step into the coffee shop here and have a coffee or a donut or whatever. Just watch out for the cops if you're in a donut shop. Sorry, cops. Sorry. I couldn't resist. But no, coffee's great. Coffee's great, and if you don't like coffee, folks, we're not going to hold that against you.
No, we will not hold it against you. But you will get penalized for not having your own coffee.
Right, exactly. All right, Joe. Hey, we're down to like the last 12 minutes or so. What to you was the biggest story or the biggest non-story this past year?
That's a toss-up, Jay.
I know it's kind of like picking which one of your kids is your favorite.
Well, Michael.
No, I meant real kids.
Yeah,
not the fur kids.
Well, my favorite kid is my one and only. It would be my daughter, which I love very much. And but yeah, stories. Well, so much crap has gone on. It's just hard. It's difficult to just nail it down to one story or topic.
Okay, let me pose the question to you this way then. What main event that happened this past year that made you just kind of roll your eyes and say, oh, not again, or oh boy, of course, or oh man, here we go again. What was one of those things where you just kind of shook your head and just, I can't believe this happened, or I can't believe this is happening?
Well, that happens every day in this household.
I kind of thought I would get that answer.
Well, because I'm informed. I watch the geopolitical scene. I pay attention to what the bonehead in the White House is doing, and I don't watch the major medias, but it's really important that Obama goes on vacation, or that they snuck into this stimulus package $770 million so that we can rebuild mosques around the world. Like, hello, people, that's your tax-paying dollars. We got vets that are homeless that are waiting for health care, mental health care. We got other vets that are on waiting lists, that are just put in off to the backside, and these people are, waiting for them to die, and that's not the way, we should be treating our vets. And
exactly. And we have the nerve to call ourselves a Christian nation. But Joe, I understand exactly what you're saying here, and my feeling on this. As far as giving money away for this or giving money to that country for this, I say all of our money stays here to take care of our folks. And if there's anything left over, then you can start doling it out to Israel, or then you can start doling it out to China, or Afghanistan, or Iraq, or Saudi Arabia, or any of these other nations that get funding from us. Well, like you said, we have vets starving on the street, living on the street. Not only vets, brother, there's a huge homeless problem in this country, and it's one of those hush-hush things that no one wants to talk about, because then they talk about it, then they've got to admit that it's a problem.
Yeah, well, let's sweep it under the rug, and we'll put them on the hold list. If they're not here, they can't be. They're not in the other vets' faces, so that, the word doesn't get out. So the way you judge a society is by the way you treat its children, its old people, its veterans, and its animals, is the way I look at it. And America in the last 20 years, we're failing badly on all accounts. vet situation has gotten worse. We've got hundreds of thousands of people who are homeless out there, and it's not just the vets. We have whole families that have been evicted from their homes, living in their cars, tent cities, and now they're ushering them off to FEMA camps. So it's not in the public eye, so you don't have to see these people. Oh, we wouldn't want these poor hungry children, sitting on the sidewalk, begging for food.
Right.
It's appalling.
Yep. Joe, we're down to 8 minutes or so. I want to make a little point here. I haven't done it all season long simply because it just honestly slipped my mind. But since we're talking about homeless, we're talking about people who are less fortunate than others. My favorite charity is the Salvation Army. They do great work. They help out a lot of people in the community, in your own community. And if you can, folks, donate to the Salvation Army, not just for the Red Kettle campaign, but all year round if you can. It takes as little as $10 a month to make a big difference to the Salvation Army. And that's one charity that I personally do what I can to help out, because I've seen the positive effects of the Salvation Army on some of my neighbors, some folks in my community. And that's just one small, but Joe, in this world that we live in where people just only give a damn about themselves, the only way that they'll do anything charitable is if they can brag about it and say, oh, look what I did. Go ahead, bro.
Well, we're supposed to, as Christians, we're supposed to give, and we're not supposed to brag about it, because bragging about it, in the eyes of God, that just you just erased everything that you did. It's supposed to be like you're fasting. You don't talk about it in public. You're not trying to glory grab. You're doing something. You're supposed to be doing something for the benefit of other people, and you keep it quiet. And to me, people who grandstand that, oh, well, I gave to this. Okay, cool. Do you know that only 97% of that money that you gave the cancer fund or whatever is actually going, or 97% is going to the organizations collecting the money, and the actual patients or whoever you're trying to help get 3%? Like, wow. That's something to be really proud of. I'd rather go down and give sandwiches to the homeless people and,
Hey, you can't do that without a permit. You cannot do that without a permit, Joe. Remember, we live in the land of the free.
Yeah. Texas, some group of armed individuals went and fed the homeless in a community where it's illegal to feed the homeless. And you know what the cops did? Applauded them. And the major media ignored it.
Right. Absolutely. Well, Joe, we're down to 5 minutes, brother. Take a few minutes here. I want to thank everyone for sticking with us throughout this year. Not just this year, but the last 5 years. We're going to be starting our 6th year of broadcasting shortly after the new year rings in, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to do the shows here and to have all the current hosts and all the former hosts here. It's just been really cool. I just want to take a minute here and thank everyone for standing by us, supporting us, and we hope for your continued support throughout next year. And one thing I want to say, I'm not one of these radio station owners who get on the air and beg for money and say, oh, you got to donate, you got to send me money, you got to send me money. I don't have to. The Lord provides. And I'm so thankful and so blessed to have the Lord provide. But there are some folks that do help to support Truth Radio Network financially. And I'm not going to mention names because, like we said, charity is charity, and I'm sure these folks wouldn't want me to mention names, but you know who you are, and I want to thank you. You inspire me, and you keep us going here at the Truth Radio Network.
Amen, and thank you. I don't know your names, but I see the benefit of what you've done, and and appreciate. And okay, Jay, did I earn that check this year?
Yes. Yeah, you sure did. Check's in the mail, buddy. The check is in the mail. Hey, okay, Joe. We're down to a couple minutes. I'll go ahead and give you a few minutes before we wrap up the last show of the year here.
Time for Joe's spiel. If you don't have a good relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, now is the time. Travel in your car. Get some of that private time. You step into that closet. Check your knee mail. Get down and pray. He's there all the time, every day. And operators are standing by. Love y'all. I hope that this new year will be better than the last. And don't stop prepping. It's your life assurance, just like your fire extinguisher. It hangs there on the wall, but when you need it, hey, you're darn glad it's there. So work on your preps. Watch out for your neighbors. Take care of your elderly, and remember your pets and your preps. With that, I'll say thank you, Lord, for a good year, and thank you, Jay, for giving me this soapbox that I can sit here and I can blob, and hopefully, lighten somebody's day, and just try and make things better, because it's a community effort. It's a community effort.
At the very least, Joe, if we're not going to brighten somebody's day, at least they can sit back and laugh at the two lunatics on the radio.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Mom certifiable. Right on. Oh boy, it has been a very eventful year. Next year looks to be just as eventful. Things in this world are going haywire in a hurry. And what Joe said absolutely rings true. Get right with God. We are living proof that He is the rock, the steady rock that we can stand on and get through these troubled times. Oh, boy, let's see. I got about a minute here, Joe. I just want to remind folks to check us out this Sunday. The first show of the year will be the sermon show. And we're going to be starting in January, we're going to have the same classic speaker for the whole month. Instead of switching from speaker to speaker, sermon to sermon, we're just going to go with one speaker for the whole month of January. And I do believe next month is going to be C.H. Spurgeon. So visit our website, www.thetruthradionetwork.com, for our broadcasting schedule and some show information, link to an audio Bible. And if you miss one of our shows, you don't even have to come to Blog Talk Radio and worry about the Flash player crashing. You don't even have to worry about downloading the show. Just go to the website. Our latest show will play for you automatically. You can open up another browser window and do what you're doing and still listen to our show. And it's not going to slow down your computer either. So with that, Joe, thanks for a great year, brother. It's been awesome. I hope that next year is going to be just as awesome for us. Thank you, Jay. And God bless y'all. And keep looking up. And keep praying. Love y'all.
Amen. We'll see you. God bless you all. We love you. We'll see you next year. This is the Truth Radio Network. The Truth Radio Network. Your home for compelling Christian news talk with an edge.